secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver it to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great, and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime.
And you shouldn't get shot over your point of view.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state. and all across the country.
I'd love to be here at home.
As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me.
Let's have conversations.
Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence.
I'm scared to go out in public.
He said the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option.
Other people are
But
alive.
through those, we have a reminder that we can choose a different.
This guy.
There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence.
Yep.
There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country, and
that it's okay.
he said, "I'm not optimistic." He said, "I hate optimism." Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret the agreement on case like this?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating. You talked about this level of hatred that this person expressed in your dinner. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to get such a belief?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now, Mr. Robinson?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So, how we obtained the gun? The gun was found here. We do know that he drove on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss motive?
I'm sorry?
Did the suspect plan to carry out any other attacks?
We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that.
The mugshot?
Yes, in fact, it was just released.
Is he
Yes.
talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here.
very eloquently about trying to reunite this country. Do you feel this is a watershed in American history?
I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history, yes. The question is what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically. Historically, we have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together. The Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be. I mean, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there, but this is our moment. Do we escalate or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m., the timeline that Director Patel gave us led to the arrest at 10 p.m. Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes.
What was he wearing before?
Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where, and was he a student here at this university, and is there any history of mental illness?
Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I will just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that basically we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
Wow. Thank you for the members. Thank you for the super chats. Hey, Rabbit, how you doing? I just saw
You just heard here on Live Now from Fox as officials detailed the arrest and the Charlie Kirk assassination. Leading up to this point, very thorough and detailed coverage from my colleague Josh Breslow, leading up to the anticipation that we were all wanting to know who is the person that was taken into custody. As we discussed the very latest, I do want to transition your screen. Take a good look. This is the latest information we have from our content partners as we are learning the suspect in custody on this Friday in connection with the assassination of Charlie Kirk is a 22-year-old from Utah. Law enforcement officials confirming that to the Associated Press. Authorities identifying the suspect as Tyler Robinson. Now, a lot to discuss, and as we continue this thorough and detailed coverage.
I thought it was interesting, too, that they said he was wearing a different outfit at the event, and then I guess he changed. Is that what they said? He changed into what he was wearing to shoot Charlie. And then when they found him, he was wearing what he previously wore at the event. That would be what? I guess that's not that guy, though. No, that guy, the one guy everybody thought was him, doesn't look like him.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Changing that many times?
Rainbow Rabbit, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. And Rainbow said a poll of 68,000 college students across 250 colleges revealed that 1/3 of all students believe violence is justified to stop speech on campuses. We need to do better. Wow. That's crazy, man.
Time. So it was just, it sounds like a great investigation from all partners, state, local, and federal.
We heard from Utah's Governor Spencer Cox in that press conference saying that a suspect's family member actually turned him in. We're also hearing that he was joined alongside a family friend. Let's discuss that because as the images were circulating, we had images from TMZ, we had images from the campus. We saw the suspected shooter climbing the side of the roof to get up there. There were so many people who were speculating who this person could be, many people not knowing that it would be a family member who would come out to turn this person in.
I think my live streams are going to be more of this, like news and stuff that I'm interested in. And if people are interested in it too, then they will watch. If not, that's okay. I do this for fun. But I do wish people were good and better.
Yeah, so a lot of these cases, just mass shooters in general, school shooters, or in this instance, most of these individuals, they have the term we hear it all the time, but it's leakage. I don't know, but I'd be safe to say, and they mentioned it briefly in the news conference, where there may have been some leakage in him talking about it and showing this hatred towards Mr. Kirk prior to actually committing the incident. And
I think they said they had dinner the night before, or something with family, and they were sitting at the table talking about why they hate Charlie Kirk.
Proactive, and maybe this never would have happened.
As you say that, you wish it never would have happened. Some somber words from Utah's governor towards the end, and I want to quote him. For many people, it stuck out. He says, "Is this the end of a dark chapter or the beginning of a darker chapter in history? With your Secret Service expertise, unfortunately, this isn't the first type of tragedy you have covered, but so many viewers on the edge of their seats wondering, is this the end or the beginning of a darker chapter?" As Utah's governor so eloquently put it.
Yes, he brought up a couple good points, talking about the 60s, which were a little bit before my time as well, but, one of the most violent times as far as assassinations go. And with my experience, we've seen a lot of violent events, towards this country. But
just in the last week,
like you said, most importantly, we have a choice. We individually have a choice whether or not how we write this next chapter, and hopefully people take to heart exactly what he said and make that choice to turn to.
Okay, so pretty big developments. I wanted to play. Oh my god, that's good. Some clips.
How to get more presentable.
I don't know if I want to play this. Actually, I don't know what I want to play. Oh, this was an interesting clip.
You're part of the problem, I think, with the hatred on trans people. It's really not that deep. Like, if someone wants to dress up however they want, that's totally fine.
Okay, so
and I think
I'm not
that's where the
preventing you.
hatred
I'm not
comes from.
preventing you from dressing up.
Yeah.
However, let me ask you a question. I will flush this out. So let's pretend you say you are a woman. I know you are a man, but I refuse to call you a woman.
Okay.
Who's the hateful one?
I would say you are. I mean, I wouldn't.
So you're going to
appreciate
force
it.
me and shame me.
No,
Hold on a second.
Anything, man.
I'm the hateful one.
It's really just like common courtesy.
It is never common courtesy to lie.
Okay.
You do not become a thing just because you say it, you are the thing.
So,
and guess what? Nobody in the history of the species that was born XX or born XY and transitioned is able to change their chromosomes. Every one of your cells is coded either XX or XY. And it is an insult to women everywhere in this audience and across the country that's saying that you could just wear makeup and dress like a woman, undergo surgery, that you magically become a woman. And it is the abolition of women, and is the abolition of reality, and we see great unjust human suffering because of it.
Thought that was kind of a little interesting debate there. We saw this guy already.
For those of you that are not yet believers, it's very simple. You're gonna have a court date, we all die, and you're all gonna meet the supreme judge of the universe. Justice is getting what you deserve, which is going to a not so good place. We're all sinners, and we all fall short of the glory of God. But thanks to the cross, a perfect, loving God who came down in human form, human flesh, lived a perfect life and died for us so that we could live forever. At that moment, we're about to get that sentencing into eternal damnation. Somebody says, no, I know him. I know her. Welcome to eternal life. You have an opportunity. The gospel in 4 words is Jesus took my place. 3 words is him for me. 2 words is substitutionary atonement, and 1 word is grace. Grace you cannot earn. Grace you do not pay for. It doesn't matter how much money you give to the hospital. You can't earn it. It doesn't matter if you're a good person. It doesn't matter if you have always done the best you can, because what's different about Christianity is that it's a gift for all of humanity to receive regardless of everything that we have done. And your life will be transformed. You will be born again. Grace is not earned. It is given by a God who loves you and wants to spend eternity with you. It is the most important decision you can make in your life.
Or pause the stream anyways.
who clearly radicalized into oblivion by his university,
Hey guys.
Reddit, mainstream
I'm
media,
back,
and
but
Democrat
my dog is
politicians who
barking
spent
at
the
something, so I'm
last
just gonna leave you
decade
watching
demonizing
this.
I hate you. Would you like to have a substantive conversation or? A substantive? No, man. Would you like to have a conversation?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like you. I think you spread hate. I think you spread bigotry. I think you piss a lot of people off because you're just an awful person. I don't think you really want to debate because you're just here to piss people off and energize your crowd of racists.
What have I ever said that's racist?
Oh,
Can you name one thing?
I'm Hispanic. Can I support Charlie?
Can you name
Does that mean anything? I think you're just trying to play a game, and I think this is obviously going to be used.
What
in
have I
your
ever
favor,
said
but
that's
I just want to hate you. You're awful. Get off my campus.
When have I ever said anything that's hateful? Have a nice day.
These people don't even know. They just regurgitate shit. They don't know.
He can't say anything I've ever said that's racist because I've never said anything that's racist. That is the American left in one picture, everybody.
I hate you.
Would you like to have a
gay conservative, and I'm a gay conservative, and I just want to ask you, what do you have to say for people like me who kind of feel like, I guess, it's kind of hard for gay conservatives because there's not a lot of us, so like, what do you have to say to other gay people who need to realize like they do have a choice?
Yeah, first of all, welcome to the conservative movement. I don't think you should introduce yourself just based on your sexual attraction.
No, I agree.
Because that's not who you are.
I like to be thought of as a person, and
for sure, you are a complete human being, and I'm sure you treat people well, and you're studying something. So I want to get away with this idea that you're gay anything. I just think that we have gone a long way in the negative direction in this country, where we act as if the most important part of your identity is what you do in the bedroom. It doesn't mean that much to me, but if you ask from a perspective as a Christian, I don't agree with that lifestyle, but politics is about addition and multiplication. I imagine you agree with a lot of what we talk about.
Absolutely.
Right? Strong borders, strong country, and for that, we welcome you into the conservative movement.
thank you.
Man.
Amplifies. I do think social media plays a gigantic part in it amplifies everything, and every Yahoo has a voice. And when things like yesterday happen, you see it all. I mean, how about the MSNBC?
Crazy.
And that guy got fired.
Crazy.
But
Imagine
to
saying
publicly say maybe he got shot by one of his own fans who like was in the old West, like shooting his gun in the air, like celebrating, and then to be like he deserved it because he spews hate, which, by the way, a lot of people agree with what he said, what he says, and he says his things and lets people who disagree with him, like you were saying, come up and debate him. So
Yeah, I
insane.
know. It's crazy. I mean, but my thing is like, and I get what Witt's saying, like, he has kids. I feel terrible. And I see people like tweeting out, hug your kids, do all. But like, I feel like we do this every fucking time there's a mass shooting or something. It's not going to get it. It's just not going to get any better.
And that's the most terrifying part of it.
It's just gone. Like the toothpaste is out and it's not, it's over.
So it's like,
over.
what could ever change it? I don't think there's anything, which is the saddest part. And then the other part is like, I don't even know where it was, where the politicians, like, they're screaming and yelling, no moment of silence. It's just like,
oh, in the House yesterday?
That was on the House.
like, I don't even get that. Like, you can't just be like, yeah, let's say a quick prayer. Yeah, it's just fucked.
Well, politics definitely has a huge part in it. Trump, and when I say Trump has a huge part in it, I don't necessarily mean he's to blame for it, but he's so divisive without really even just his face is like divisive. Like people hate him so much, and the left and the right, the rhetoric, especially to me, the left, is insane, and it just boils. And this happened when Trump, they threatened, when his assassination attempt, there's like a 3-hour period of like, let's tone down the rhetoric.
Right.
And then they're right back to it.
Yeah. That's why I think it's bullshit yesterday when the people on the extreme left are like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, well, I don't think you are. Like, I just
Definitely
don't. Like, I don't. So why pretend? Just tell the truth. I think Charlie Kirk would rather have you tell the truth.
That was Dave Portnoy. This was another interesting interaction. So remember, Stephen King was saying that Charlie Kirk wanted gays stoned to death. Now he's apologizing, but he had that post up for quite a while, and I think a lot of these people just see stuff like this and believe it. They don't, they don't look into it. They don't like take. All right, let me find out. People see this type of stuff, and then they're probably already radicalized, already have mental issues on TikTok all day long. In college, I apologize for saying Charlie Kirk advocated for stoning gays. What he actually demonstrated was somehow cherry pick biblical passages. I mean, good that he apologized, but this is the problem here with this stuff.
So I do not have hate for a group. I do not have hate for a people. I
So
hate
just so I can get it on my camera, so Instagram,
Don't worry, we
hi.
got plenty of cameras, but yeah.
But yes, so you do not hate the LGBT community,
No,
and Turning Point is not against LGBT.
No, how could I hate that which I have a heart for?
Thank you.
And I might not agree at that for some of the lifestyle choices that some people make, but of course not. And if someone said, Charlie, what's your view on marriage? I say, I believe marriage is between one man and one woman. But if you ask me, what do I have hate in my heart for somebody that doesn't choose the lifestyle that I believe that God laid out in the scriptures? Of course not.
The question is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are three major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion. And Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those three things are antithetical to the West.
So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? Why is it affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Well, I could throw that right back at you. Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
Because you're affecting other people's rights. You're taking away people's choices. You are hurting.
How's he taking away your rights and choices or whatever?
Affecting other people's rights.
That's what a lot of people are brainwashed. They're taking away my rights. Oh, they're taking away my... No, man. Not taking away shit. Every year, a new president, whatever, it's the same shit. Not taking away nothing. Go to work, go to college, or save some money, make a family.
About other individuals living their lives. Why is it affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Well, I could throw that right back at you. Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
Because you're affecting other people's rights. You're taking away people's choices. You are hurting people.
So again, you say I'm here to take rights away.
Yes.
Do you agree life is a right?
I feel like if it's a clump of cells, then it's not alive.
No.
I love the verbiage they used to. If it's a clump of
Also,
cells.
then it's not alive.
No, but let's go back. Do you think every human being has a right to life?
Depending on how many weeks.
Depends on how many weeks. Wow, okay.
Depending on how many weeks. But let's
So wait, hold on. Who's going to take rights away? I want to protect the rights of all human beings. You call them a clump of cells.
I was born as a man, and now I'm a woman.
Okay, no, but you don't become a woman just because you dress like a woman. So let me ask you a question. If I wear a disguise or a costume, do I become that thing? For example, if I dress with a sombrero and start talking with a Mexican accent, do I then become that culture?
No, because that's different race.
Okay, but
That's
then wait,
very
why?
different.
Why?
Is there transracial too? Is that really a thing? Like some people, I thought that is, right? Wasn't there somebody that like had some surgery done to their eyes and all that because they felt they were Asian?
How is it different? Because you're saying that if you dress a certain way and you present a certain way, you can be as you think you are. Why can't I also just choose what culture I am?
Because you are born within a culture, you are born with.
But you were born as a man.
Anyway, but at the end of the day, man, these are just debates on college campuses. This is also give me back my son. Supposedly happened at grieving father collapses at memorial for Charlie Kirk outside Turning Point headquarters USA in Phoenix, in an emotional scene that has left millions shaken. The father of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk fell to his knees at a temporary memorial erected outside Turning Point USA's national headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona. Clutching a framed photo of his son, he cried out, "Give me back my son. He's only 31. Witnesses say the anguished plea echoed through the gathering crowd, many of whom wept openly, laying flowers, candles, and handwritten notes beneath the makeshift shrine. Video of the heartbreaking moment spread rapidly across social media within moments, drawing an outpouring of grief and solidarity from across the political spectrum. You could feel the pain in his voice. It was the sound of a father's heart breaking. Charlie's father passed away years ago. Oh, is that not true? Oh, his father's deceased. Oh, my bad. This guy made this shit up. What the? What the? Charlie Kirk filed deceased. Wow. How many views this thing got? Oh, not that much. I mean, 55,000 views. Damn, people do all kinds of shit, I guess.
But I don't give a fuck. Absolutely zero fucks.
It's crazy, right? Let me see. Let me double check that too.
The fact that you can scroll your FYP right now and see all of these hateful.
Yeah, his father's been dead. Charlie Kirk's father is dead. His name was Robert W. Kirk. He's an architect.
Laughing.
Crazy, dude. People make up all kinds of
Disgusting
shit.
fucking videos about a human life getting taken in front of thousands.
Turn it out. But that's why y'all need to pray for me, because I want to do right, and I want to be a good representation for Charlie. But y'all gonna make us turn it out up in this month. I'll come from a different lane. You know what I'm saying? I grew up violence. That was all I know. Not all I know, but that's what I like to know. But anyway, Nick, we said when we I think I poured too much, bro. Yeah, I think you did too. That's a big jump. Hold on, I got a piece of cork in my. I ain't eating anything this morning. You didn't eat that. Quit being soft, bro. All right, we said when they catch the shooter, we gonna this a lot, bro. You gonna shoot it straight?
No.
You just gonna sip?
I have a live stream to manage. I can't do that.
Hey, bro. We said when we catch the shooter, we're gonna cheers. And so this cheers to them catching the shooter of Charlie Kirk, and cheers to us.
Cheers.
Taking this thing further, man. Living, having Charlie's legacy continue forever. All right. Cheers. Cheers to y'all.
Oh, gosh.
That's good though. That's that. I don't know if I can promote this on there. It's the smoke wagon. Don't cough, bro. It's all right. But anyway, that burned a little bit. Yeah, that was rough. So anyway, but cheers to y'all, man. We caught that fool, and justice will be served. And in Charlie's name, or his death, would not be in vain. Two things I want to address while I'm on here. Then we're gonna be finished for the live stream, unless they have some more updates between now and then. Two things I want to address. First of all, do we have the video of the hand signal thing? Let's go to this. I want to debunk this because maybe it's just idiots online doing this. Stop making conspiratorial comments, and this for everybody on the internet. You're not doing Charlie a service and his life and legacy by you being silly and trying to make things into a conspiracy. Mm-hmm. Stop with the bull crap. Now, when you watch the full video, the guy in the white shirt is nowhere near the guy in the black shirt. If you're facing Charlie this way, the guy in the white shirt is way over here, and the guy in the black shirt is behind Charlie. They're not nowhere near each other. So to think that there's an iota of coordination between those two guys, it didn't happen. Second, if you are a person who's trying to shoot a man at 200 yards, you don't have time to look at a hand signal over here and make a shot over here. It's not happening. Now for the gentleman in the black. This is one of Charlie's guys. And it makes me so effing mad because you're disrespecting this man. Because y'all stupid and you want to push conspiracy theories. This man is literally just adjusting his sleeves because he got a shirt on that's tight, he got muscles, and he's just loosening up a little bit. That's all the man is doing, is loosening his sleeves up like this. Like any normal person would do if he feel a little congested. It's probably a little warm out there. Charlie getting ready to talk for 3 hours. He just want to adjust his sleeves like this, and y'all think he giving a hand signal to a person to shoot Charlie. You should be a effing shame of yourself, man. This man can't sleep at night because he was there to protect Charlie, and it didn't happen.
so well run, why does it keep on losing population?
I don't think it is.
No, it's a fact. In the census, Illinois lost well over 1 million people the last decade. In fact, every 9.5 minutes, someone leaves the state of Illinois.
Who is it that's leaving, though?
Young people that go to school at ISU.
No, it's
people,
Republicans.
Well,
how can you judge a Democrat state because Republicans don't like it?
Well, actually,
that's just common sense right there.
Well, people of both
if
parties
I lived in Alabama,
are
I would hate living in Alabama, and I would want to leave Alabama.
Well, first of all, the trend of people leaving Illinois started well before. Actually, it started even when when Bruce Rauner was governor of the state. The trend was continuing. 1 million people over a decade. So, as a liberal, I just want to have you. And by the way, it's not just Illinois. I want you to explain to me why so many people are leaving California, so many people are leaving Illinois, leaving New York, leaving New Jersey, and yet people are going to net increase to Arizona, to Texas, to Florida. Why is that?
I don't study that. I don't.
No, that's okay.
That's not what I came here to talk about.
Fair enough. But no, it's something to think about because as a liberal, maybe people are voting with their feet because states like Illinois and California and New York are so terribly run with high taxes and bloated pension systems and radical left-wing ideas. Outside of all the back and forth and the gotchas or whatever, getting down to the concrete issue, our worldview is so popular that millions of people are moving to states that share our worldview, where millions of people are leaving the states that share your worldview. Just based on that, we kind of can contest that our worldview is more popular and therefore closer to reality and actually right.
Thank you, Charlie. Well, I wouldn't say your worldview is more popular. Trump didn't win majority of the votes in the popular.
Well, no, he did.
No, he won less than 50%.
Well,
more people voted for somebody else.
He won the plurality of the electoral.
I'm not saying more people voted for
He
Kamala
won the popular vote
in total.
Yeah,
he did. Yes, he didn't win majority though.
Right. So just to be clear, winning a majority of the popular vote is incredibly unusual. Usually you win a plurality, not a majority, but he still won the plurality.
Yes,
he won 48%. He also won an electoral vote kind of landslide. Last question here. What do you think that conservatives get right? What do you think that we as conservatives, one thing you agree with from our perspective?
100% the taxes. I understand that completely, but I feel like we're taxing the wrong people. I'm a tax the rich kind of guy. That's just my thing.
What is your definition of what is rich?
More specifically, the top 1%.
Okay. So if the 1% is taxed to such a great extent, why wouldn't they just leave? And then who's going to build our businesses, build our companies, and pay the exorbitant amount of taxes?
Small business owners.
Got it. So, again, I
thought you guys were the small business party.
No, we are, but at some point, just so you know, a large portion of the 1% are the ones that own the small businesses. You need both capital and labor. That's fine. I'll just say this in closing. I hope you keep on studying, keep on asking questions, and ask people in this audience, why they believe what they believe. And I want you to think more deeply over the next couple days, weeks, and years. If Democrat policies were so successful, if they were so great, people would be going out of their way to go to Democrat states. Instead, they're going out of their way to go to Republican states. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Can I get a hat?
Yeah. Sure.
I like souvenirs.
All right. It's definitely a souvenir. You're very polite. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Have a nice day, Charlie.
Thank you.
I'm glad.
That was an interesting conversation. Yeah, it's a really sad story, man. Rob Smith made this post, and this guy is part of TPUSA, isn't he? I don't know. He used to host with him. The evening this photo was taken, Charlie and I were hounded by people in the audience who hurled hatred at me for being gay and Charlie giving me a platform. The crowd got unruly and rowdy, and afterwards we sat in a holding room waiting for our escort and car out. I was shaken. I hadn't experienced anything like this before. Charlie looked me directly in the eyes and said, "God loves you. You are part of this movement, and we got your back." Charlie and TPUSA, I guess he's hosted on there, I thought, or something. Charlie and TPUSA always did, though I was too deeply immature and new to the realities of being a public figure that I didn't realize how much they actually did support and protect me in a myriad of different ways. That is who Charlie Kirk was. I will not allow his humanity to be reduced to sound bites spread by people who never met him and want to use his biblical beliefs as an excuse to paint him as a
morning. As we head on into the afternoon, anyone who uses public transportation has likely heard of this high-profile story involving a Ukrainian refugee who was unfortunately stabbed to death on Charlotte public transportation. It has really gripped the nation because her death was caught on camera. You see the suspect do this horrible act against this young woman who was already trying to flee and save her own life from the violence that's happening in Ukraine. So we are now turning to Butts County Sheriff Gary Long, who has put out this message to anyone who has a gun to use it. And Sheriff Long, before I start to ask you a couple of questions, I want to give people just a little bit of the backstory on this. This woman, Irina Zarutska, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing her name, was just 23 years old when she was on the Charlotte light rail. And she had moved to Charlotte from Ukraine. She worked several jobs in the U.S. And unfortunately, her family says she's now going to be buried here because someone who had a long rap sheet killed her for no apparent reason. So good morning to you. Tell us more about why you say gun holders, legal ones, should be prepared.
I would never want to go.
Thanks for having me. You know, it's you said it best. It's horrific what happened, and almost 30 years of doing this, I would say that what I watched on that video was more than alarming. You know, there was 5 or 6 other men standing really close in proximity.
Nobody did anything.
And nobody did nothing. You know, this could have turned out a lot worse. I mean, there could have been a whole lot more victims, I would say, in this deal. But, you know, I think what we're getting to in America, you know, everybody wants to make this about a Republican issue or a Democratic issue, but it's not that. It's
FBI Director Kash Patel and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor, Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
These guys are awesome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I really like this channel. These guys really speak a lot of truth, I believe. If you've never seen this channel, you should definitely go check it out. Pretty good channel, pretty good guys. They met Charlie Kirk too.
Yeah, we're showing, by the way, our affiliate in Utah, and the aftermath of the shooting. You could see people running away pretty quickly, as you would imagine they would do at gunshots. The FBI Director, Kash Patel, has weighed in on this. He just tweeted the following: "We're closely monitoring reports of the tragic shooting involving Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. Our thoughts are with Charlie, his loved ones, and everyone affected. Agents will be on the scene quickly, and the FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and the investigation." Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use. Why?
Well, he's one of MAGA's most prominent voices online. He hosts a near daily podcast. He opines on almost everything. He's been very closely aligned with the president since his initial run for office in 2015, 2016. And his ties to Trump really elevated his own brand. He was really quite young as an activist when the president launched his initial campaign. And he has kind of ridden along with MAGA since 2016 and built up a massive, massive brand of his own. His group has brought in tons and tons of money.
Talk to me about the environment in which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the...
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers.
Not too long ago, two friends of mine were talking to a Cuban refugee, a businessman who had escaped from Castro. And in the midst of his story, one of my friends turned to the other and said, "We don't know how lucky we are." And the Cuban stopped and said, "How lucky you are. I had some place to escape to." And in that sentence, he told us the entire story. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down.
Amen.
Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. In this vote harvesting time, they use terms like the Great Society, or as we were told a few days ago by the President, we must accept a greater government activity in the affairs of the people. But they've been a little more explicit in the past, and among themselves, and all of the things I now will quote have appeared in print. These are not Republican accusations. For example, they have voices that say the Cold War will end through our acceptance of a not undemocratic socialism. Another voice says the profit motive has become outmoded. It must be replaced by the incentives of the welfare state. Or our traditional system of individual freedom is incapable of solving the complex problems of the 20th century. Senator Fulbright has said at Stanford University that the Constitution is outmoded. He referred to the President as our moral teacher and our leader. And he says he is hobbled in his task by the restrictions of power imposed on him by this antiquated document. He must be freed so that he can do for us what he knows is best. And Senator Clark of Pennsylvania, another articulate spokesman, defines liberalism as meeting the material needs of the masses through the full power of centralized government. Well, I, for one, resent it when a representative of the people refers to you and me, the free men and women of this country, as the masses. This is a term we haven't applied to ourselves in America. But beyond that, the full power of centralized government, this was the very thing the Founding Fathers sought to minimize. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose. They also knew, those Founding Fathers, that outside of its legitimate functions, government does nothing as well or as economically as the private sector of the economy. Not too long ago, a judge called me here in Los Angeles. He told me that a young woman who'd come before him for a divorce. She had 6 children, was pregnant with her 7th. Under his questioning, she revealed her husband was a laborer earning $250 a month. She wanted the divorce to get an $80 raise. She's eligible for $330 a month in the Aid-Dependent Children program. She got the idea from 2 women in her neighborhood who'd already done that very thing. Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything. Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. Now, we have so many people who can't see a fat man standing beside a thin one without coming to the conclusion the fat man got that way by taking advantage of the thin one. So they're going to solve all the problems of human misery through government and government planning. Well, now, if government planning and welfare had the answer, and they've had almost 30 years of it, shouldn't we expect government to read the score? Each year, the need grows greater. The program grows greater. We were told 4 years ago that 17 million people went to bed hungry each night. Well, that was probably true. They were all on a diet. But now we're told that 9.3 million families in this country are poverty-stricken on the basis of earning less than $3,000 a year. Welfare spending 10 times greater than it was in the dark depths of the Depression. We're spending $45 billion on welfare. Now do a little arithmetic and you'll find that if we divided the $45 billion up equally among those 9 million poor families, we'd be able to give each family $4,600 a year. And this, added to their present income, should eliminate poverty. Direct aid to the poor, however, is only running about $600 per family. It would seem that there must be some overhead. Now we declare war on poverty. You too can be a Bobby Baker. Now, do they honestly expect us to believe that if we add $1 billion to the $45 billion we're spending, one more program to the 30-odd we have, and remember this new program doesn't replace any, it just duplicates existing programs, do they believe that poverty is suddenly going to disappear by magic? Well, in all fairness, I should explain there is one part of the new program that isn't duplicated. This is the youth feature. We're now going to solve the dropout problem, juvenile delinquency, by reinstituting something like the old CCC camps. And we're going to put our young people in these camps. But again, we do some arithmetic and we find that we're going to spend each year just on room and board for each young person we help, $4,700 a year. We can send them to Harvard for $2,700. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting Harvard is the answer to juvenile delinquency. But seriously, what are we doing to those we seek to help?
For a little while now. Glad they got the guy. Yeah, that was disgusting. Well, that is all. They caught the guy, and that's why I got on. Hope it's really him. And then we figure out more. I'm gonna go. Babe, if you're still watching, Mom's coming over with Mama, so yeah. Love you. Bye, everybody. See you another time.